Hi guys, I'm looking for my vintage photo ink re-inker because my ink pad is a little dry. So hope everybody's doing good today. Hi Joyce, hi Lisa. Let's see about letting that sink in. I'm just going to do the edges on these. I used some of these the other day in something I was doing, and I really liked how it came out. I stuck them on the back of paper on the back, and then stitched around them. And I thought that might be fun to do. And I thought it would be nice to have some already kind of pre-done. So I had like hi Lisa. By the way, guys, Lisa Carl is Iowa Lisa. I want to have them like blanks so that when I want to grab one for a project, I can just grab it. So I thought I would work on that for a few minutes until everybody gets here and I can do my little journal page. And I'm just, taking the fancy off the top. Putting a little grunge on it. The ones I used the other day, I did not do the paint chip before I stuck them down to the paper, and I wished after the fact I had, even though I stitched around them, I wished I had grunged up the edges a little bit. And Sister Lisa, that if this is vintage photo, one of the things about this is it is not waterproof, but I know that after I would use these today, I'm not going to be, after I work with them, I am not going to be getting them, I'm not going to be Mod Podging them or anything like that. So I thought this would work just fine. So it is looking more and more like it's going to rain. Which from the looks of it, we're supposed to get some every day. But it was so funny here. The other day, it just poured here. And Jeff was in town. Hi, Julie. Working at his dad's in the yard. And he said it got dark, but it never rained. And I mean, for 45 minutes the other day, it just let loose here. So I'll show you how I'm going to prep these. I don't like to I don't want to fight with trying to sew them, or sew them without them being attached to something. Yes, if you know you won't be getting them wet, it will be good. Yeah, that's what I thought, Julie. You know, it's like I have this. I might as well use this. And so now one of the things I was concerned about was that it would not dry on the paint chip thing, you know, that it wouldn't dry well. And it takes a minute or so to dry, but it's drying well enough that if it smudges, that's okay too, because, you know, we're doing a grungy thing anyway. So, but it didn't wipe off super bad. That was my concern. I'm picking and choosing colors because I want some of the more soft vintagey ones for this particular thing. But you can see I have a pile of these. I have no idea when or where I got them. I know somewhere along the line, the paint store, and this is Sherwin-Williams, the paint store was switching out colors, and the guy that I used to go visit every so often because he had wallpaper books, he would grab them and hold them onto them for me. So that may have been where I got them. So I saved them from the trash kind of thing. The fact that I have so many, that makes me think that that's the case. Yeah, it is. Hi, Teresa. It is a lot, Julie. Okay, this is just some cream colored copy paper. This happens to be a big sheet that I had out for something else and I didn't use it. So these are some smaller sheets. Now I'm just going to stick it on. But the brown seems to stain my acrylic stamps. Any cleaning tips? I hate to tell you this, but those acrylic stamps will stain no matter what. But since you don't have fancy things to clean stuff with, baby wipes. Now then, I have just a minute. I have this. I actually have a couple of different kinds. This one is in here. It is scrubby pads. Can you see how it's scrubby pads? They actually pop out and you can wash them. Okay, baby wipes. The little ink pads that come with stamps from Kmart are nasty. Take way too long to dry. Just throw them out. Okay, part of that may be because they're pigment ink instead of dye-based ink. Okay, I guess what we need to do is have a discussion about ink since you're here. Just a minute. Let me find a few things. I'm looking, guys. Just a minute. Okay. So, oh, that's all right. I can be derailed easily. It's called squirrel. Oh, squirrel. Let's do a bring you in just a little bit so that we can have this discussion more easily. Oops, too far. Yep, too far. Just a minute. Sorry. This new software is touchy. Okay. This one, Distress Ink. This Distress ink is a dye-based ink. So most of these Stampin' Up! Ones, it says water-based dye ink. Just because they're acid-free, non-toxic, these mean that they're water soluble, basically. So if you go in and you're going to put Mod Podge or matte medium or something over the top of them, they can bleed. Okay, so we have lots of dye-based inks. Okay, 99% of what you get in the store, like this one, this is a dye-based ink. Yeah, this says right on the back of it, dye ink. Now, then we have, just a minute, let me put this one up so I don't get too much out here. Oh, okay. We have stuff like this. And this. And probably this one. This one says dye. This one actually says dye ink. So you know. But these don't even say. So you don't know what they are. They could be just about anything. That's the problem. You don't know. And until you open them up and use them. This one, StazOn Jet Black. You see it says solvent ink right here. There's not a lot of solvent inks out there other than StazOn. Now, if you buy a StazOn pad and you use a StazOn pad, especially, I was getting close to read the tiny writing, so I was really close. Sorry. Okay, with a StazOn ink and you use it on those acrylic stamps, you need to have in your stash StazOn cleaner because it will ruin your acrylic inks, acrylic stamp pads. The thing about StazOn ink is, and the solvent-based ink, is that it will stamp on things like plastic, glass, metal, that other inks will not stay on well. Now, you heard me say well. This one will go on. It's thin. It goes on, and it stays on pretty good. Stays on pretty good. Ha, ha, ha. It comes in colors, and I do have several colors of them from back in the day. It's something I use occasionally, but not all the time. But like I said, it will be ouchy on your acrylic inks if you acrylic stamps if you do not get it off right away. You want a clean StazOn ink right away. And even on rubber-based ink or rubber-based stamps that I don't always worry about cleaning because, you know, I'm lazy. You want to clean this off right away. Especially though on others, things like that. Okay, so there's that. Then we have things like this. Okay, and this comes in, these kind of things come in bigger pads. It's really hard to tell what they are. This one actually says it on it. It does say pigment ink on it. Which day? Yeah, it's good for stamping on acetate. I'm sorry, Teresa. I missed about which day. I'm not sure what you asked me. Hun, I'm sorry. Ask me again. Pigment ink is permanent once it dries, or basically permanent. It will come off some things. It doesn't, it smears on plastic, acetate, things like that. It goes on paper really well, but it takes a long time to dry. There's other types of pigment ink. I'm not sure. I don't know if I have much in the way of other pads of pigment. Yours did too, Joyce. Ours did too. Okay. Okay, she's done forgot. Okay, that's fine. If you think of it, ask again and I'll try to catch it. I wasn't paying attention. I got to the point where I really don't like pigment inks. There's too many other things that are really nice. These were something inexpensive that I bought a long time ago, and I've actually been using them to more like make marks than stamp with. But it is a pigment ink. I think that new stamp pad I just bought, just a minute. Shoot, I knocked that off. I just got a new stamp pad when we were on our trip. It's called Interference ink, and where did it go? It was right there. I'm gonna pout. That squeakiness is my spinny rack going around, and I don't see what happened to. Oh, there it is. Oh, there it is. This is okay. This is dye pigment mix, which is basically what these are. These archival inks. This is permanent. This is permanent and waterproof. And I've gotten to where these are what I use more than anything. And they do not tell you what they are, but I know that they're supposed to be a blended ink. Let's see if the Ranger one tells us. It says permanent waterproof, and that's about it when it says. But maybe if I look at one of the, like the big pad, maybe it'll tell us. Okay. These are water-based dye inks. Acrylic paint and watercolors can be used with, okay, all kinds of things. No, it's not going to tell me. But it's sort of a blend of what it is. But all of these inks pretty much are acid-free. Hi, Laura. Roll out the bottom lip so we can see you pout. Okay. I'm glad you're here, Laura. Anyway, so there's those kinds of inks. There's a pigment, there's a water-based dye, there's the solvent, there's the mixture. That's the standard inks. Then you get into things like, just a minute, I'll pull this one out. This one's glue. No, this one's white. This is a solvent ink pad, but it's white. I have an ink pad somewhere that's actually a glue pad. So, you know, there's all kinds of, and this is an opaque, what you call it? Opaque ink. Okay, this might be the glue one. I've rearranged and things are a little messy, but yes, this is the glue pad. This is actually glue, and you can glue things down with it. Haven't used it. I've had it for a while. Now this one is all-purpose stamp cleaner, Lisa. Okay, so you asked me about cleaning the things. This is an all-purpose stamp cleaner. This is not just for StazOn solvent-based inks. This was an all-purpose one. What I have always done in the past is spray my stamp cleaner on my scrubby pad, taken my dirty stamp, scrubbed it around on there. Unfortunately, this is one I left, you know. Is that the same as embossing? No, that is not the same as embossing ink. There is also embossing ink, which is, it's not glue. It's, and I'm not going to tell you what that one is, Teresa, because I can't remember. But it's, doesn't dry very fast. What can I say about it? I'm not sure on that one what it's made out of, Teresa. And my embossing stuff is not here. So the embossing pad, maybe that one is, maybe this is the embossing pad. Let's see if it says. No, that is not the embossing pad. So the embossing pad is not over here. So I can't really read it, and I'm not sure exactly where it's at. This was really dirty. I had stamped with this. Embossing ink is kind of an oily based ink, so that the embossing powder sticks to it, and then when you heat it, the embossing powder melts and attaches itself. Okay, so it's kind of clean, but kind of not. Then we go over here on the dry one, and we kind of clean it off. The other thing you can do is add water to this side, which is, kind of cool. And they make these little scrubby pads and other things, but you can use a washcloth. So that's pretty clean. As clean as it's probably going to get. Seems how I used it and didn't clean it in the first place. And if this gets dry where you sprayed your cleaner, you can spray it with some water and it will clean up again. But you don't put this solvent cleaner, you put this directly on your stamp. It's got a pad like thing. But using solvent of any kind on your acrylic stamps is really, really hard on them. So just FYI. I'm looking for someplace to put that. There we go. You can, I believe, and I'm not going to tell you for sure, but if you use pigment-based inks, because they take so long to dry, you can usually use embossing powder with them, but I don't want to promise you that because every one is a little bit different. All depends on how. We're getting thunder, Teresa, so if I poof, that's where you go. But the first thing I would do, Lisa, is clean it with a baby wipe. That's kind of the first thing I would do. Okay, I'm gonna sorry. So I'm guessing our power will probably start flickering pretty soon. I'm just going to do this thing where I take this and I put this down on here like so. And they don't have to be glued down super hard or anything. If you're going to sit around it, it's, and that's my plan, is to sew around all these. I just want to hold them in place. Mostly while I tear around them, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. But first I want to make sure they stick down. Google says embossing ink is specialized slow drying pigment based ink. There you go. Thank you, Julie. So it is a pigment based ink and it's slow drying. So that means that it's, going to take longer so you can get your embossing powder on it. But a lot of pigment ink will do the same thing. Okay, so what we're going to do here is, just a minute, I want... Okay, and most everybody knows this, but I'm not sure my sister knows this. Lisa showed us how to do this. Texas Lisa showed us how to do this. Okay, this is just a cheap plastic ruler from Dollar Tree. And I took my pliers and snapped off little pieces of it. And now I have my own little plastic tear ruler. So, and we just, can't throw that piece away. That's the deal. So that's why I did it long ways like that. Start on this end. That's a fun sound. Supposed to be, do you? I'm pretty sure she does, Julie. We have there's quite a bit on the radar. It's a big circle, and Teresa's enough north of us that she's probably caught in the circle already. But this is the time of year when we have rain pretty much every day. It just is. Okay, so now I have this card blank, a tag blank. But when I get a chance, I'm going to take a stack of them to the sewing machine and I'll stitch around them all. So that's my plan, is to just get these ready so that I can stitch around them. Seeing as how my plan of punching borders didn't happen because I didn't get a chance this week to go get out the big mat and cut up pieces for borders. I'll try to do that this week. I can only do what I can do, and that's, I think I may have a decal edge tag die somewhere. I may have too, Julie, but I wanted to use these little color pieces to the paint chips. I kind of wanted to use them, and they probably would never make the same. And plus, I needed to cover up the backs. See, if by putting the paper on it, I've covered up the back so you can write on it. So, and I've used these, paint chips recently for a lot of things. I just haven't made a bunch of tags out of them, and I thought, if I did it, then it would be done. I also have a metal decal edge ruler. I do not like the puppy because it bites something fierce. I've had it for a long time. I'm not even sure where it's at because it is not out here in the studio. I think it may be in my other. I have a set of drawers in the laundry room that I think it's in, that I used to have in my space in the house in South Dakota. Oops. You changing your day to go live? No, I'm not. I'm not changing my streaming day, hon. Did I say something that made you think I was? I would like to stream more often like Lisa and I used to, but I don't intend to do that because Sundays is about the only day I can be sure of. Mom doesn't usually need anything on Sundays, which Alaska Lisa, she says nobody calls her on her new phone, even though she can hear now. Just so you know. It's the way it works. Hi, Barbara. Okay, well, Barbara is going to be MIA, but that's all right because she's going to learn all kinds of new stuff. Right? But with everything else going on through the week between Jeff's dad, and I have a broken tooth and I have an abscess tooth, so I am back to having to go to the dentist a whole bunch. Just exactly what I really wanted to do with my time. Besides our standard stuff that we have to do every 6 months or so. Yeah, I broke my front tooth, Julie. Yeah. Just what I needed. And the one that's got an abscess already had a root canal on it, but it looks like I'm going to have that redone. So let me do these 4 and then we'll go on to our little book page. I did get my postcard book bound together. I didn't decorate it because I thought you guys might have fun watching me do the decorating. So oh, I forgot to make sure those were smoothed out, didn't I? That's all right. We can. Well, at least, Julie, you did something that would normally break a needle threader end to put it through the needle hole. I can't without some readers, Teresa. That I will tell you that my eyesight's gotten much worse too, but that's something I'm just going to have to get used to, I think. But no, I have no idea how I broke it. I don't know what I bit into that I broke my front tooth. You can't even with readers. I still can with readers, but I have to get out the stronger ones. But I've used a needle threader with my sewing machine for years. For one, it comes in the side of the sewing machine, so I just slip it out and use it. But I'm going to like these. I think these will be fun to have in my stash. Back in a minute. Okay. Real good in the picture. Well, that's awesome. The one on my sewing machine is it's just a little pin thing that pushes it through. Almost done with these guys. Then we'll go do something more fun. Once I stitch around these, then I can just, you know, whenever I need a tag for something, I can just grab it and decorate it. And that way it'll be all kind of prepped. That's my plan. We'll see if that plan functions, because, you know, sometimes it doesn't. There we go. Okay. Let's set this aside and find our little book. Okay. And I guess we need some stuffs, don't we? Might do something with that just for the fun of it. Come here. I need my little scrappies bin. Okay. There we go. All right. I have my scrappies bin. Both of those things decided to come out. Don't know. That's interesting. Not quite the same, but close. She may not be back, Teresa. Barbara had, although she might come back for a little bit. Barbara said that she is doing a class with someone. Dang, is it hot in here? Okay. Okay. That's interesting. You will step on the soil of many countries in your lifetime. States maybe, but not countries, I don't think. some glasses. My paper scraps doesn't have anywhere near as much variety. Well, this little box has been sitting here for a long time, Julie. You never know what's in my paper scraps box. The other thing is that I think we're getting out too many, so let's call that done. Oh, those are cool. These are some different kind of paint samples. They would make some fun tags too, but different. Okay, these I got because I was painting my studio. These actually had a purpose behind them. I don't know why they're in my scrap bin, but probably because I found them and stuck them there. Those are fun though, and they're fun to use as pieces of colors. Okay, let's go for that, because if I get any more out, I won't be able to make a decision about stuff, right? Yeah, it's a really, I don't know if it's as blue on my screen as it, these are, I was looking for a turquoise to match. Okay, so when I first got the studio, I painted some different things with turquoise and purple and lime green. And then I needed to paint something else, and I didn't have any more of the turquoise paint. So I had to hunt. Oh, I remember when it was trying to buy, I needed paint to paint my door here last year, and I couldn't find the same turquoise. So I was searching all over for the right turquoises and purples and stuff. Okay, let's see what we can find and what we can do with this. I don't know. Maybe this page, because this is kind of, all of this is kind of earthier tones. So I think we'll go for this page. We need to hold this down and get this all out of the way. Says you and pulls out more. That's true, Julie. Come on, stay down. There we go. I was thinking this might be fun to do a pull-out thing. Maybe a flip that pulls out. I think it needs to be like kind of waterfally too, so that it doesn't all lay the same. Like so. Okay, so if we do it like that, then it would go and pull out. Does that make sense? Might have to do a paper clip of some kind too. Don't know yet. For now, do we want to put this maybe at the bottom? Or do we want to put it at the top? Kind of like it at the top. Okay, and I think we're going to use some washi tape to put it in. I'm not sure how bright this will be if I put it on the brown paper. I'm thinking it will be fine. It doesn't help that it's never been unstuck. Use your stuff, guys, because when you don't, it just gets old. Oh, I think that's perfect. I'm going to use, let's first do a paper clip on it so that it doesn't move around. Come here, I need a paper clip. There we go. Guess I could have used one of those clippy things, but let's put a paper clip on it. Okay. I'm just going to put a little line of, well, I thought I was going to. Little line of glue right there, and a little line of glue right there. Okay. Yep. Okay, it's going to tear all up just because I wanted to use it today. Okay. All right. We're going to do several little lines of washi tape if we can get it to come off. I kind of like these little yellow daisies that don't look real yellow once they get laid down on something. It's hanging over. There we go. Okay, so now it goes like that. But it also goes like that. Probably ought to put a piece of washi tape back there. Okay, there we go. There's that. Now then we kind of need to, it needs a tab so that it doesn't look out of place. Because, you know, you got to have a tab that does its thing. Don't know why, but we do. For some reason, this fabric needed to be pulled apart. Just did. There. Okay. Okay. Here's that much. But looks good there. Maybe I should bring you guys in a little more. Is that better? Hope so. Okay, I am really kind of liking this. This may be one of those ones that's really simple. Nope, don't like that. Actually, I kind of like it just like it is, but what else did I have? I had these. This is just punched out cardstock that I must have trusted an ink color on. Two days ago, I was very pleased to discover that the crocodile punches holes through those plastic placemats. I had one with sunflowers made into covers with hinged rings. Yeah, the crocodile go through almost everything. Um, Julie, my there's I've used wallpaper books, the outsides of wallpaper books before, and it won't go through that. Hold on one second. Believe it or not, since they started giving me meds for the uh, tooth that I've got a problem with, all I've done is sneeze. It's like my sinuses are clogged up and I keep sneezing. So, but yeah, it won't go through the heavy outsides of wallpaper books, but it'll go through most everything. I really like that kind of, but I think it needs one more maybe. But it also needs some words, right? So we'll have to find some words. Yeah, there you go. All right, so I like that, but now it needs words. And I think I'd grabbed a book this morning. I was thinking I might hunt some words in it. I bought the book for the cover. See, is that cool? I want to make it into a travel journal, but I thought that I would look to see if there was any, you know. The first thing I landed on was fortunately there wasn't a freight train coming. I don't know, maybe I won't do this because this takes time looking through the. Oh, I like this sentence. It says, "I was wide awake and saw." Doesn't I don't know what we saw, but we saw something. So I think we're going to use that. Yep, I kind of like it. Okay, now we need to ink things because, you know, we just need to ink things, I think. Thanks, Julie. And a separate sheets of paper, yeah. Okay, let's see here. First, I think we need to do this little yellow guy. Give him some ink. Okay. And this piece of paper. It's not going to take very long to do this page today, seems how I did it so quickly. That's all right. We have other things to do. I would love to get something out of my Sunday basket finished. Okay, there's that. I think we're going to put some brown along this edge. There we go. Now I get to put 90% of what I got out, Julie, back into the box. So, okay, let's see here. First off, this one goes on there. Then let's see, we're going to put that like that. It has been so horribly hot here. The guys are all worn out from the heat. Okay, did I just turn that upside down? I did. Okay. Glad I noticed that when I did. Okay. Yes. I talked to Jeff's brother this morning, and this is someone who gets up early. He's usually at work at 6 o'clock so that he can do as much as he can before it gets too hot. And he's been going to work at 6. So that means, you know, he's used to getting up early. He said he got up this morning and actually went back to bed and didn't get out of bed until after 9 o'clock, which is not his normal thing. You know, it's just, and Jeff is just totally worn out. Okay. Okay, I had some little blingies. My blingies are, I want to put some blingies up there. That would be fun, wouldn't it? Do I want to just put it like that? Do I want a whole string of blingies? Oh, heck, let's do a whole string of blingies, but first we need one. And then how big is the string? There. Okay. Barbara's back. You're a little out of view on the top. Sorry. Thanks, Lisa. So you couldn't see where I was trying to put the blings, were you? Could you? I'm going to put them right here. Just like this. Is it every hour today, Barbara? Is that the deal? I know you have multiple classes. Okay. Dang it, I like it. It came out really simple, really easy, but it might need a tiny paper clip though. It would probably stay. If it doesn't, well, you know what? If I did the paper clip right now, I could put this as a little flaggy thing on the paper clip. So maybe we'll just do the paper clip right now. What? Wish I had some rusty paper clips, but I don't think I do. No rusty paper clips. So we will have to settle for a regular paper clip. Okay, come here. Oh dear, that was not good. Too far away. Is that YouTube 6 from? It's all this week. This week, all day workshops. Six a.m. your time to 5 p.m. Ooh, cool. All right. What do we got? I don't think I want a giant one. I think we better settle for that one. Wish I had some tiny baby paper clips. Somewhere I saw some, but not where I could. So let's see here. How can we do this? Orange and yellow are usually not colors that I use, so that's kind of odd. All right, let's see here. Well, that worked out pretty good. Okay. Screechy, isn't it? Yeah, I'm sorry. That's my spinning rack, and it's heavy, so it screeches. Sorry about that. I'll try to stop spinning it. Okay, let's see what we can do here. Okay. Oh, come on and open up and be fluffy. There you go. It's like it's twisted on its own self. Needs a comb. How's that sunflower journal? Yeah, right, Teresa. I haven't even started it. Uh I have collected, but I haven't started it. I think I get sidetracked is what happens. Okay, there's that. Now if we just put this like this on our little thing, it will stay closed. And then if you take the paper clip off, you can spread it out. Um, that would be one thing, Teresa or Julie, if I could get to the bearings. Unfortunately, the bearings are um, way far under it, so there's no real getting to it. I could take everything off of it and take it outside and tip it sideways, but there we go. Collecting ideas for ephemera too. Yes, that is you got to work on all of it, right, Teresa? So, and unfortunate, Julie, it's about 4 foot tall by a foot and a half each direction, so it's pretty big to unload. Okay, we got to put a date on here. Thank you, Lisa. Um, you need a long pointy tip. Yeah, dip it in oil. Yeah. Um, Jeff put it on a base that's raised up for me about this tall because I needed it to spin over the top of the thing that holds my camera. So, but yeah, WD-40. I probably could get some WD-40 in there. I don't know if it would stop it because I think it's weighted, but we'll have to try to do something about it. I think it's just more fun to make your owl's teeth go like that. Oh, that sounds like an interesting one, Teresa. Let's see. Today is July. No, it's August, right? It's August 3rd. 3rd, 2025. I like that. Accept that. This needs some lines around it. Some scribbles. There. That's too much bling, but that's okay. I'll put it up here. And now we get to clean up the mess, which means we got to spin the rack again. Okay, plug your ears. Okay, Teresa, that's good. That was good. Uh-huh. Yep, it's got too much weight on it. Yep. All right, let's just pick all this up and tuck it back in there. I use out of this all the time, Julie, but I don't know, it seems to grow an awful lot. Okay. I need some tea. It is hot in here today. And the air conditioner is running, so I don't know why. Well, I creak and moan when I move around too, so. Okay, where's the one I just finished up? There it is. Okay. I already even chose some beads so that I have had the right color and didn't have to go hunt them. However, I didn't think to get a bead mat out. Which is not a good thing because they will go all over everywhere. So I'm going to excuse myself for just a minute and I'll be right back. I'm just going to go get a washcloth. I'll be right back. Sorry, guys. I decided to readjust the air conditioner while I was in there. Okay, I'm still working on my Twitchy button journal. Ooh, that's helpful. Yeah, when you use, yeah, you gotta make something, and then it makes more. Yes. Uh-huh. Um, I have Velux bead mats, but they're buried, And since I didn't get it out, I'm just going to use a washcloth. And that's just to keep my beads from running all over. You see, I finished off my binding. This is a pretty substantial little book. It got pretty good sized. So the first thing I'm going to do is decorate these down here. I always do some beads on these, and then I start putting beads and my fancy stuff on here. So that's what I'm going to do right now, is just do these two. And I have a couple of different kinds of beads. This one is what they call a size 8, so it's a little bit bigger. Just because if I use an 8, then it goes faster. Just a minute. Let me get some out. You have to be careful with this thumbnail since this all keeps breaking, so I'm just being careful. They're pretty good sized. They are not big 6s, but they're... And we'll use more of them than we will use the 11s. 10s, 11s. They're 11s. And this is a set of 11s, and they're smaller. Beads go, the smaller the number, the bigger the bead. So 11s are basically like standard seed bead size that most people know about. Oh, come on off of there. You're going to tell me that I'm going to have trouble getting you off? That figures. I can no longer use my thumbnail the way I like to use my thumbnail, so... That had a lot of suction in it. And we won't need as many of these. But you see they're much tinier. Let me put some together on my hand so that you can see the size. Okay. Okay, come on, focus. Okay. Come on. All right, you see how the 8s are so much bigger than the 11s? There's a reason I'm going to do that. Okay. Because it makes it easier to tie the knots on the ends. So we also need a needle or a pin or your Toki tool or something like that. I usually just use a needle. I used to use a pin all the time because I had this little pin that had a little flower on the end of it. Somewhere along the line, I lost my pin. Okay, this is just, small needle. And why we use the needle is because it makes it easier to tie the knots. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the 8s first. Yeah, they're probably 3 times the size, Julie, maybe 4. We're going to do 6 or 8 of these beads. That figured. I just dumped them off. I don't use a needle. This wax linen is plenty stiff enough to go through it, but the 8s make it easy. Okay, so I got this like little, and then if I pick up one of the 11s, what it is, it's a knot stopper. So that when I tie the knot, it doesn't go through the hole of the 8 because the 8 is got a bigger hole. So, but if you take this needle and you put it right at the end of where you want your knot to be, and then pull your knot down, it will go right to that spot. And I always tie it twice. And hold on a second. Excuse me. The pin or the needle just makes your knot go where you want it. That's the idea behind it. And then I just clip it off like that. Thank you, guys. Now you could use bigger beads. You could use all size 11s, smaller beads, that kind of thing. But here's the thing. The 8s go on faster. They show up real well. So that's what I usually use. Don't slide all over. I'm still working with orange. Yes, that's, yeah. For some reason, I made the front of this one orange. You know, and it's, now I know why I did it here, because so many of the leaves were so orange this fall. I want more than just these two little guys. I want like 4. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the one of these that I cut off, and I'm going to sneak it around what I already did and just tie a knot. And then I can put on another set of beads. And you know, Lisa, I tried every color that I was like thinking greens, and I was thinking this and that, and I was like, for some unknown reason, the oranges just kept jumping out at me. So it must be that, you know, I must have an orange thing this week. Although it was during the week last week that I decided on this. And I usually put like 4 on the bottom ones. It's just, I don't know, 2 just does never seems like enough. I don't want them to interfere with putting it on the shelf, but at the same time, I don't want it so plain that it's hard to find orange beads. These are from my old stash, and okay, both of these probably came from Bobby Bead, which is an online company. They have a store in Minneapolis, I think. It's called bobbybead.com. I used to buy from them by the kilo and half kilo of beads. because I used them in my in my kits. When I was making kits, I used beads. Okay, bye, Barbara. Okay, so we're just going to go to the next one. I also bought beads a lot of times at the bead shows from other, seed beads from other dealers because I was at the show, and if I knew I needed something for a specific project or whatever, I would buy. Would be pretty to do one yellow and one orange. Oh, in the line, not yeah. It might be. It would probably be very pretty. I just I'm too lazy to do that. uh I also probably have this same color in the size 8 bead. I have drawers full of beads. I have more beads than any human being will probably ever be able to use. Part of it too, Teresa, is I don't get too elaborate with these because in a minute I'm going to start putting my charms on, and I really like the top part to be more about the charms. Another reason I chose these colors is that while we were in Maine, actually we were in Bahama, I got these little brads that I'm going to put into my where's the opening? Is there no opening in this? There we go. That I'm going to put on my page. One is a lobster and one is a crab. And you can see that they kind of match the colors. You can't hardly see them because they match. It's your fault. I've given you ideas. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. There you go. See? Anyways, after a bit, when I finish up with my charms, I'm going to put these into my cover on my book. Just hadn't done it yet. I thought about doing it the other day, but I thought, oh no, I want to show y'all what I was going to do. Come on, where's the other end? There we go. Whenever I am in a different scrapbook store or whatever, I always try to find brads. And I screwed up this year and I saw some turtles. And I thought, no, I won't use turtles. And then afterwards, I was really mad at myself for not buying the turtles. On our, while we were in Iowa, actually. We were in Des Moines, and we stayed out on a lake north of Des Moines, and they actually had turtles in their what do you call that? Information center. And then we ran across. We didn't run over him. We specifically avoided him. Um, More than one on the road. So um, I wished I had bought the turtles, and I didn't. And I was like, dang, why didn't I get those? But I didn't think about it, and then it was too late. So, oh well, you know how that goes. Come on now, get on the end of there. Okay, so we have two little spots done. Now I'm going to go ahead and put two pieces here that have our little doodads, the same like I did before. And then I will attach several strands so that I can put my charms on. And I'm just using the leftovers right now of the of what I cut off to add extras. Sometimes I have enough extra that I can do all of it that way, but I might have to get out um, the spool to give myself some more. I don't know. We'll have to find out. So. These are the two that actually tie the book together. So I always like to make sure that they don't have the charms on it, just in case I should grab one to and break it. Now, they're all tied in knots and it should never come apart, but you just never know. And the charms get kind of bulky on there, so. I have a piece of washi tape stuck to my finger. We spent our week finding out some really wild things about Jeff's dad's car insurance. I wanted to change insurance companies because the one he's used in the past absolutely is impossible to deal with for me. So um, I I was going to change it to the company that his homeowner's insurance is with. And Jeff went down there, and Jeff's got power of attorney, so it's not like he can't do stuff. Come to find out, because Jeff's dad no longer is allowed to have a driver's license, he's not allowed to insure a car in the state of Florida. You have to have a driver's license in the state of Florida to insure a car, which is like, oh, great, just what we needed to find out. So now we're trying to figure out how we're going to fix all that mess. Okay, so these are like two, just like I've been doing, but I'm going to add another two. But of course, they wouldn't make life easy for us at the DMV. It was wonderful. Or at the insurance company either. Okay, I don't know how many I'm going to need for my charms. So let's get out the charms and find out what we got. And by charms, these are my pressed pennies. Let's see. This one is from Acadia National Park. It's the lighthouse at Acadia. This one is from, it says Live Free or Die, Errol, New Hampshire. ERROL, New Hampshire. Established 1774. Well, it is raining now. This one is from White Moose, LL Coat. Oh, I think this was a like a outdoor supply store we went to in one of the little towns in the White Mountains. What's this one? Okay. I can't even tell. What is this? MMA. Oh, it's a lake. It's MMBOGOE. I have to think about where that one was. I don't remember. And this is a little lobster, and it's from Bahama, Maine. So I have 5 of those. So I need 6 little doodads here, so that's good. I have enough to do 6. Okay, now I have 6 little tails, all sorted out. A couple more longer than the others. Okay. I can always add another one if I need it, but for now we need to punch holes in our things. And that's why I have this. This is a jewelry punch. It's not actually a paper punch. It's a jewelry punch. And I believe this must have been a less expensive one because Lindstrom tools all are marked. So, but it will punch through metal. So, okay. Yep, it's definitely raining. Okay, come on off. There we go. Some pressed pennies are thinner at one end than the other. Some are not. Some of the presses just press better. Okay, which end do we want to punch? This one. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we are going to put on, let's do these two short ones first because they're going to be harder to use. We're going to put on a bunch of the size 8s. And dependent upon the book, it's dependent upon how long I let these pieces be for the charms. I don't like them to be too short because then these things have a bad habit of just sticking out. So you kind of have to make these a little longer. I don't usually count. I just kind of make them a little longer. It lets them hang down the spine a little bit better. Okay, so that's about long enough. Okay, so now we're going to put one of these on. And then we're going to put on another size 8 or 2, and probably 2 today. And then a size 11 so that we can tie our knot. See, like that. See, now it'll hang down. So it's basically the same thing I'm doing over and over again. I just, and I only tied 2 knots in those, but I'll probably tie 3 knots in these because there's more weight on the bead at the end. There's more weight on the knot. And these aren't horribly heavy, but, over time. Okay. Next. I'm surprised you guys can't hear that rain. I can hear it really well. Teresa, you use a lot of size 11s, I think, don't you, for your ornaments? I was going to make a zine today, and for some reason, I forgot to get all that stuff out that I wanted to do with it, which, it's kind of like, dang. I really want to start making some zines again. Elevens and 8s. That's I figured you used a fair amount of 11s. I think I have more 8. Well, maybe not. I probably have more 8s than any other size. Mostly because I bought a lot of 8s in kilos and half kilos. So basically I have a map drawer of each one. I also have a lot of delicas, which they're more for a different kind of work. Yes, I've used some 15s too. I was looking for some beeswax coated papers and realized I threw them out. No, that's not good that you threw them out. Um, Delicas are easier to create bead, um, some certain bead designs with because they're tubular. They're very specific size. They do not vary in size. Their holes are all the same. They're just a different species, but I don't have as many of those because they're much more expensive than the others. And I didn't do as much of that stitching kind of work. Come here, you little ornery guy. He's over there in the other pile. That's, there we go. Okay. Fifteen's in the crystal ones you made. Okay. Um, yeah, Julie. Sometimes things sometimes things get kind of old and yucky. This one doesn't have as many. I didn't, for some reason, I don't have as many charms as I normally do. I My guess is one, I just didn't find as many little odds and ends of things that I wanted to collect and put on here. Hard to tell. It may have been where we were, what we were, you know, the things we were getting to see. It's hard to. I'm just happy to get this one done. I have too much stuff anyways. There you go, Julie. I have too much stuff too. And we have way too many cars right now because we've got extra cars from Brandon's got two here. Uh, Jeff's Jeep is tore apart in the backyard. We've got one of Jeff's dad's cars here. So we have too many cars as well as too much stuff. So, and just like that washi tape, I have tons of washi tape, and of course that one didn't want to unspool this morning. It did start to after I was using that for a bit. I just need to use my stuff more. I have a bad habit of not using my stuff. It's just don't know why. I have it. Okay, one more charm, and then we get to put our little lobster and other guy on there. But I have one extra string because I was tying the strings on double, which is fine. I'll just do a little short one. And then if I come up with charms that were supposed to be on here that for some reason were not in the stash, then I will just add another string. It's never a problem. But I'm going to run out of size 8 beads before I get done today, I guess. What's everybody working on while they're here today? Anything? Paper dolls. Yay! That sounds like fun. Haven't done any of that in a while. I've been doing a lot of fussy cutting for the the journal I've been working on Tuesdays. I've been having to do a lot of fussy cutting for that, so I've been doing that in the evenings. Do pages for the Sunflowers journal. Sock toes, but Lunch Fairy is making lunch. Ooh. My tea fairy hasn't come. He's probably taken a nap. He went to his dad's and worked all morning at his dad's. Dang, my eyes are bad this afternoon. Okay, we need a few more orange ones, just a few. Talking fussy cutting, the new scissors are making a big difference. Oh, guys, by the way, Lisa got, and I don't know if, let me go see. Let me see here. Give me just a minute. I'm going to go look at something. Oh, shoot. Guess I need this thing. Oh. Okay. Oh, there's an H. That's why I couldn't get to it. I had a hard time finding them, though. Why am I having such a hard time? Don't know. Anyways, I'm trying to tell y'all that Lisa found the Ginger scissors, and you need to really look because, of course, she probably sent me a link, but it's not on this computer. She's looking up the Ginger 5-inch scissors that, yeah, they were 35% off, which makes them about the same price as I got them for, years ago. Nope, not on sale now. Okay. The ones I showed you, the embroidery scissors I showed you last week that were on special, they were, she got them for like 35% off, and that makes them very reasonable for fussy cutting scissors. Paid $25, now they're $32. Yeah, and so $25 is about what I paid for them. Gosh, 30 years ago. Now that's going to be too long if I do that. So we're just going to stop right there. But yeah, a pair of scissors that's really comfortable for you to hold, and it has to be a scissor you like because, um, you know, kid's home already. I'm surprised. He must have gotten that job done really well. Um, the it, some scissors and a lot of people like those scissors that spring back. They've got a spring in them. I don't like them. So it has to be something you like. Like these work, and I can fussy cut with them, but I don't like using them. They're hard on my thumb and they're too short. Okay, these are my favorite fussy cutting scissors, and they're kind of long. Now, if I didn't have these, I'd probably use my Gingers, but I have these and they work real well. So it's all in what works for you and what you like. Okay. Now we get to put all the beads away that are out here because like I said, not having a thumbnail to use is really hard. This one just does not want to come off. Okay, there it goes. One of the things about a Velux bead mat is that it does not catch the beads as badly as this washcloth does. But the washcloth keeps them from rolling off the table, and that's what matters. So, okay, so that, let's put the needle away. The scissors you'd been using were probably 50 years old. I'll bet you these are 50 years old. Jeffrey had them in the shop, and when I can't remember, I guess I was out in the studio or something when we were living in South Dakota, and I needed a pair of scissors, and I found these on his shop table, and I was like, they're mine. You lost them, they're mine. So they've been mine ever since. Okay, so now I want to put these little guys on here. Here. Okay, so I'm going to use this and just punch a couple of holes in here. Oh yeah, there we go. But I think they need some glue as well as some other stuff. So we're going to use, where'd it go? There it is. I want to use a little of this on the back side of this. Because I don't, it's going to catch going in and out on the shelf. So we're just going to put a little glue. And I'm using tacky glue because I think that that's a better choice for this particular thing. Okay, but his little leg is standing up, so we're going to need to Make his little leg go down so it doesn't catch awful. And then we'll turn it over. Okay. Okay. But yours were cheap even then, yeah. Well, these are cheap ones, Lisa. These are not expensive scissors. These were, you know, um, I'm mostly putting this on their little legs because, you know, I know that those little tiny pieces are going to catch. So, especially since they're on the cover. Oh, where are you going? There you go. Okay. Whoa, you can't see what I'm doing. There you go. I'm just getting this bent down really good. Okay. Well, how about that? Okay, do I have another big one? Okay. All right. Apparently I used the big ones, so all I have left are small ones. Okay. So if I put one like that, I do not like the ends of the brads to no, I'm just going to punch some new ones so that I have the big ones. That's what I will do because, you know, I can. Let's see. For some reason, there's one big one every 2 or 3 times you punch. So we just have to find something that kind of coordinates. Okay. Some more paint chips. Oh. Oh, I'm gonna have to stand up. Oh. Okay. I don't know why there's only 2 big ones in each thing, but there are. So we've got 2 big ones. And we will use those to cover those up. How about that? And then maybe we should put another little one or 2 in there. Not that big one. They'll do the little ones. And one of these little ones over here. I don't like staples and I don't like brad sticking out on the back side of something. It always seems like they that's the first thing that happens is you get pinched or poked by one. So I'm thinking there might need to be some leaves on the front cover too. So okay. You agree that there I need to put leaves, or that I you don't like staples and brad pieces on the back? Okay, I need a piece of. Okay, now I know I had some wax paper. Let me put it in here. Why is it that things keep disappearing? I had wax paper just yesterday. Okay, we'll use this plastic bag. Yeah, I don't like staples and brad pack. Yeah. Okay, I want to put just, I think we're just going to add some little leaves. Oops, that one has a word in it. Yay, as soon as this dries, this one's done. Yes, yes, yes. That doesn't mean anything because I got 3 more books, I think, to do that I haven't gotten done in the last 2 years. I mean, heck, this one's from 2023. Okay. That just has to dry now. These are probably tacky glue takes a lot longer to dry, so I'm going to leave the clips on there. But and leave my things in, but these are always fun to go back and remember everything that we did. So I'm going to just put that back, put it up, and then I can put it on the shelf. I like the leaves added to this cover. I knew it needed something, and the lobster and the little crab work, but I just think it needed that just a little bit more. So I'm happy with that. So okay, let's see, what are we going to do here? First, we're going to clean up the mess. So let's do that. Let's put this little piece of, and I don't throw these away. That one was a long enough one to tie beads on or something, so I usually keep them. Wax linen is kind of pricey, so I try not to get rid of it until it's really not worth having. Thanks, guys. I think I'm going to work on some more of these tag things. Just so that they're kind of ready to use. I'm kind of picking out the more vintagey type colors rather than the brighter, darker colors. Don't forget the like. Oh, thank you, Lisa. Yes, like buttons are really appreciated. That's enough for now, but I'm probably not going to stay on past 4 o'clock. It's gotten to the point where I cannot see chat. So I probably will get off of here not too long from now. So get a few more of these ready to go and be ready in my sewing machine. Did you get your toes done, Lisa? My tea fairy did not come today, and I'm almost out of tea. I thought he was sleeping, but I just heard him talking a little more than halfway, but I'm doing 2 at a time, so, well, that's good. Since Brandon came in, Jeff was talking, so I guess he's awake. He might not have been until Brandon came in, but that's... I have to go cook dinner because I made them eat leftovers the last couple of days, so there's no leftovers. Usually on Sunday, I have cooked Saturday and there's leftovers, but I just messed up and didn't, so. I hope you guys are enjoying the journal I've been doing on Tuesdays. I've been having fun with it. I know it's not the most exciting thing to watch me do that, but it's been a lot of fun. It's one of the only things I'm getting done, so and I think I have to go to the store in the morning. I think that I'm going to have to do a Sam's run. Dad's going through cereal like it's water, so. And I couldn't get it the last time, so I'm going to have to go again this week. I usually try to do it every other week, but they didn't have it last time. And he's going through about 4 or 5 boxes a week, so it's a whole lot easier if I can get it at Sam's. So probably have to do that. And Mom's got an appointment this week. Oh, by the way, Lisa, I did tell her, she could call you. She was complaining about nobody ever calls her. Now that she has a phone she could hear on, yeah. Nobody ever calls her. And I'm like, well, you do know how to dial the phone. She called me because did she have to put it, how did she know if it needed to be charged? And I know that Jeff already talked to her about it. I already talked to her about it. It's got a little battery, but I don't know if she can see it. So I just told her to put it on the charger every other night or so. Yeah, Julie, he's actually this last week he's been eating peanut butter and toast, but for a while all he ate was cereal. He was going through almost a gallon of milk every day and a half, and he was just eating cereal. We kept trying to tell him that wasn't really good for him, but she won't call you, Lisa. She won't call anybody else. I mean, she calls me, but she calls me mostly to complain. And I didn't call her as much last week as I should have. I've been busy, so I usually try to call her every other day, and I just haven't been. So I really like how these look kind of aged when you get them on. So when you get the ink on them, and then when I stitch around them, they ought to be really kind of cool. Yeah, I don't think I want around the bottom corners. I don't think. We'll see. Maybe some of them I will do a little differently. This batch I'm going to do this way. Asking your kids to call? Yeah. Uh-huh. Yep. Mm-hmm. Well, my kid doesn't call unless it's a birthday anyways, but of course, now he lives with us, so. And he sometimes texts me, but not very much now. He will, however, he texts me things when he wants me to order it from Amazon. Because I have a Prime account, we use my Prime account to order his parts and tools and. Oh, my phone's getting old again. I'm probably going to have a new one pretty soon. There's a point, my last one, which is, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago, I guess, now, yeah, 6 years, I think, it decided it didn't want to update the GPS anymore, so my GPS wasn't working right. It would work sometimes, but not all the time. And there's a point where they just don't work anymore, and I'll probably have to have a new one pretty soon, but I'm trying to avoid it. I think when I finish this, I'm going to go. It's going to be 4 o'clock, and I'm getting tired. I really want to try to make a zine next week. I really, really do. I haven't done one of those in a long time, so hopefully I can do that next week. In the meantime, guys, I'm going to tell you, go have fun. Make some heart. And we'll see you later, okay? Love you all. See you soon. Bye-bye. Hugs and bye to you guys too.